One of the most awesome features of the Japanese language is how easy it is to make people's names puns. In English, naming a white-eyed person silver or a black-eyed cool down is going to raise more than 3 eyebrows. In the worst-case scenario, people become incapable of taking the character seriously, unless you write like J.K. Rowling or something. But Japanese is different. This is mainly due to the relative dearth of variant sounds in the language. The number of vowels is equal to the number of syllables and characters.
But anyway, without further ado, let's start. I've actually forgotten what the plot of K the anime was about. I remember there was some Red King versus Blue King versus Green King versus Rainbow King business, giant floating swords, and a murder mystery set in some rip-off Academy City. There was a MILF cat girl, a lolly, and a cool skater punk. It had great art, and in case my rainbow joke was too subtle, serious yaoi subtext. If I think hard enough, bits and pieces come back to me, but the overall essence of the anime and what I felt when watching it have been lost to me. If I had to compare it, I would say it's like looking back through your notebook from elementary school. You've hopefully learned all of those things, but you can't remember taking the notes. The fact that I feel this way about the series is unfortunate because I think I would enjoy seeing how it ends by watching the second season, but I am reluctant to rewatch it. Anyway, those thoughts aside, this is about puns, especially on Shiro and Kuro's names. These are as obvious as puns get. Shiro means white and Kuro means black. This obviously points to the color of their hair. It might also be pointing at their personalities. Kuro is more surly and no-nonsense, while Shiro is a light-hearted soul. It might also be hammering home the fact that Shiro, having lost his memories, is a blank sheet, while Kuro, having lost his master and clan, is shrouded in darkness. Data Live is a pretty impressive anime. Not only did it manage to secure a pretty good following despite the immense handicap of airing in the exact same season as the first season of Attack on Titan, but the main character is a harem main character who's not an unlikable twit. The plot of the anime is also decent and ripe for immense darkness. No doubt, one of the reasons for the popularity of the series is the character Tokisaki Kurumi. Incidentally, it was Kurumi's cool character design that convinced me to watch the series in the first place. During the entirety of her intro arc, I was genuinely confused as to whether or not she wanted to pork the main character or eat him. And when I say eat him, there are no sexual connotations attached to it. Eat him as in turn him into bacon. Kurumi is what you would get if you combined the powers and insanity of Gasai Yuno with Tsukiyama, and then added an extra helping of crazy just to be safe. And her name reflects that. The Toki part of Tokisaki is written with the character for time and hour. This is an indication of her ability to manipulate time. Also, Toki is used in the word Tokei, which means clock, and weller or eye is a clock. The Saki part is pretty standard for Japanese family names. Odds are, if you know a Japanese person or a fictional character with Saki in their name, it's probably written with this character. However, by itself, this symbol means odd, as in peculiar or curious, and spirits like Kurumi are anything but normal. This might be a coincidence, however. What is not a coincidence is her given name. The mi part of Kurumi is written with the character for 3. If you combine this with Toki, it makes Sanji, or 3 o'clock. This is a reference to the usual time on her clock, which I think symbolizes that she's at full power or something. The kuru part is used in the adjective kuroshi and the verb kuru, which means crazy and to go crazy respectively. And I don't mean crazy as in crazy good. I mean crazy as in squirrels. This name is incredibly fitting, but considering that spirits don't seem to usually have names and she probably named herself so... As an aside note, the Kuru is made up of the characters for Beast and King. It kind of makes you wonder exactly what the Japanese were trying to say. So I watched the Ghost in the Shell movie, and the only thing more American is a bald eagle driving a Ford, ordering freedom fries at McDonald's, then paying the cashier with guns, all while the Star Spangled Banner plays in the background. And that was probably racist, and I'm probably going to go to hell for it. It wasn't a bad movie by any means, just not the Ghost in the Shell experience I was looking forward to. Anyway, one of my personal pet peeves about the movie was how they kept throwing the main character's new name around, despite assuring people that she would be called the Major. I didn't mind the name change so much as I did the fact that she could just as easily have been called Motoko. It wouldn't have been out of place as there were Japanese people in the movie and there was one guy who spoke in complete Japanese. I suppose that you could consider it one of the ways that the main character was stripped of her identity, but the movie made this feel more incidental than deliberate. However, this is not a review of the Ghost in the Shell movie. It's about puns. The movie got me thinking about the name Motoko and how it was written in Japanese. The moto part of the name actually uses the kanji so, which means elemental or beginning. I guess you could use beginning to mean source, which makes a bad pun with source code. The second reading, Su, also means naked, simple, and uncovered. One of the most iconic scenes in Ghost in the Shell is where she disappears while wearing the special suit that makes her look naked. Much like the entry for K, most of the puns in Kuroko No Basuke are color puns, so let's do a Generation of Miracles roll call. Awamina Daiki's first. Awo means blue. His hair color is blue. Its given name Daiki is more interesting though. Daiki is written with the characters for great and to be brilliant. Awamine was considered the ace of the Generation of Miracles. Next up is Kise. The Ki part is written with the kanji for yellow. He's blonde. The yellow or gold might also symbolize his status as the golden boy of the group in looks and ability and the fact that he also works as a model on the side. Next is Midorima. Midori means green and his hair color is, well, green. His given name is Shintaro. The Shin means true, which might indicate how good his aim is. The ta used in his name is the same ta that is used in the word tayo, which means sun, and might be a subtle play on the fact that Midori can also mean plants in Japanese. Next, Murasaki Bara. Murasaki means purple, and despite all logic, his hair is naturally purple. Secondly, although I'm sure it's a coincidence, Mura can also mean village, and he's big enough to be one. Finally, his given name, Atsushi, is written with the kanji for kindness and affinity. His great size would certainly lend itself to an affinity for basketball. Finally, his lazy, laid-back demeanor may actually be camouflaging a truly gentle soul. Next is Akashi. The Aka means red, and again, his hair color is red. Also, Akashi is only one letter away from being Akasha, and when I think of Akasha, I think of hell, and when I think of hell, I think of the devil who probably works for Akashi. The Shi part means boss, and he was the leader of the Generation of Miracles. Next, his given name is Seijiro. The Seiju part is written with the character for to conquer, and the Ro part means man, so his given name is literally conquering man. If this doesn't tell you how domineering Akashi is, nothing will. Finally, the main characters. There's Kuroko. Kuroko means black, but for once his hair color is not actually black. Instead, the Kuro might be pointing at his status as the dark horse. One of the meanings of dark horse is a person or thing that competes but is not expected to win. Kuroko is completely overshadowed by the other members of the Generation of Miracles, and this team, Seirin, is a young team not expected to make any waves. Another meaning of dark horse is a person with interesting but largely unknown characteristics, something that describes Kuroko well. Finally, I've learned that the word Kuroko also refers to stagehands in Japanese plays. A stagehand who does a good job is not noticed by anybody. Outside of the Generation of Miracles is the next main character, Kagami. At first, I thought his given name meant Miru, signifying his relationship with Kuroko, but his name is actually written with the kanji for fire and God. Again, this might be symbolizing his hair color and his rather hot personality. His given name is Taiga. The Tai is written with the kanji great, same as for Awamine, which again points out Kagami's status as an ace. The ga part is written with the kanji for I, but this can also mean we. This might be signifying how he and Kuroko are a team. All of these colors, combined with the fact that there's pink and apparently gold and silver later show up, is tempting me to make another rainbow jerk off, I mean joke. But I will refrain from doing so. I still haven't watched Berserk. I might add it to the list of anime that I'm going to watch back to back one dark holiday, namely Evangelion, Revolutionary Girl Utena, Serial Experiments Lane, Bokurano, and Narutaru, because if I'm going to go insane, I might as well do it properly. Despite the fact that I haven't watched Berserk, I do know something about the plot, which I'm not going to talk about. Instead, let's talk about Guts. His name is obvious. In English, guts has two primary usages. One refers to the intestines and stomach. Being killed in such a way that your guts spill out is typified as a rather horrific death. If there is anything Berserk and its main character are known for, it's the rather gut-wrenching deaths. The next popular usage is as having guts, which signifies bravery or determination. This exemplifies guts so much that I'm 100% certain that Keita Ramura was aware of this English meaning when he named him. Of course, these aren't the only reason Berserk is on this list. Berserk is one of the main reasons I decided to make this list, in fact. I noticed something while I was practicing the kanji for to brave or to defy, namely that it looked remarkably similar to the kanji that means stomach. In fact, the stroke counts are identical at 9 strokes. Looking at the bottom half of the character, you'll see the character meaning I in to brave, which you can attribute to the idea that bravery can be measured by whether you confront a challenge with your eyes open or not. Whereas the bottom half of the character's stomach is moon, which for some baffling reason is used in a lot of characters for body parts. In a further twist, the character used for to brave is the one used in the word for adventure. Guts is a defiant swordsman on an adventure. I'm not sure if this was all intentional on the part of the author, but so now that I have two videos with an even 12 characters, my OCD doesn't want me to make any more lists. I am still open to the idea of making more lists of characters whose names are puns, but I think for now I'll move on to other aspects of anime and manga character names. Instead, I'll show you pictures of two sets of characters, and I want you to comment in the comment section as to what exactly the puns are in their names. The first is Ryuji and Taiga from Toradora, and the next is Shuichi from Maytante Conan. So I'm not really sure if there's anybody out there watching these lists, but if there are, thank you so much for watching my videos, and I hope I entertained you or at least enlightened you about some aspects of Japanese and made you think, hopefully. Anyway, bye for now.